Hi guys, Jared here with Day Traders FX. It's time for the daily video update. We've got some good stuff going on. Just a quick reminder, everyone should definitely stop by the website and see this latest article, Stupid Is as Stupid Does. This is actually by Boris Schlossberg, and it's a pretty good article, so it's definitely worth having a look at. Just a quick little one, so stop by and have a peek at that. Quick little look here. We've seen an interesting day in the markets. We're just literally seconds before the close here. It looks like we're going to close a little bit more positive than the market's been for most of the day. It's been about 30, kind of 30, 40 points down, and it's finally just kind of making a little bit of a comeback. But looks like it'll be a negative day for everything across the board, except for gold. Gold's actually done pretty well. So just keep that in mind. As far as everything goes today, we're probably going to have a bit of a quiet UK session with some bank holidays and so on. So we'll see how that goes. Coming up later on today, this is going to be a big mover, so keep an eye on this. Australian interest rate announcement. So this is going to be very important. You can see that the current rate is 4.25%. They're looking to cut it. This will be high volatility. If they don't change the interest rate, then it's going to be a big mover. If they do cut it down a quarter point, that's still going to be probably a very big mover. If they move it more than a quarter of a point, there's just a lot of room for movement there. So be very, very ready and careful on the Aussie dollar. Coming out tomorrow morning, we have the ISM PMI for the US, and we also have, for the UK, we have the manufacturing PMI. So those are two to keep an eye on. As far as the movements go today, we got in this morning, and we've been sitting in it for quite some time, a breakout on this euro dollar. So just as it kind of broke this trend line and opened above the daily pivot point, we got into it. We're sitting in a little bit of profit. We're looking for it to make a nicer run here. So there's opportunity to enter at current market price, and also the next big entry should be at a break of 132.70. Above 132.70, I think we've got a nice run on the euro dollar. So let's keep our eyes out for that and look for a break there above 132.70. Likewise, though, if we do get a break of this ascending trend line right here, I think this is going to give us the opportunity that we were looking for and that I've talked about a little bit this morning to trade the pair down to 131.50 and buy at 131.50. I'm definitely looking for a buy opportunity around 131.50 with 30 to 40 pip stops and looking to take it at least back up to 132.00, if not 132.50. So I think there's a nice 50 to 100 pip trade in there. So we're going to look for a test of 131.50 to buy there and take it right back on up again. So keep your eye out on that. For the meantime, once again, look for a break of 132.70 or a break of this trend line, which would put us around 132.20 to take this pair on down towards this 131.50. Don't try to ride it all the way there because markets have been choppy, but there should be a pretty easy run of 30 to 40 pips in a breakout of that movement and a continuation on down there. So keep an eye kind of on these general levels here. Pound dollar has been kind of interesting. We're watching the pound dollar and kind of seeing how it's running up this trend line, and it's definitely above some of these most recent highs. I mean, this goes all the way back. This little high right here, which is about 161.65.70, goes all the way back to November of last year, and here we are all the way almost in May, and it has just barely broken that high, and it's trying to make a little bit of a run. And I think it's going to be able to sustain it, but I think we're going to see some pullback here. So what I'm looking for on this pound dollar is two scenarios here. Number one, if we break this trend line that you can see on this 1 hour chart right here, if we break that trend line, which is about 162.20, give or take, and it's not super far away from that, I'm going to be looking for a little run towards that 161.65. Maybe not all the way down there, but once again, looking for about those 20 pips at the break of 162.20. And so hopefully that'll take the pair right on down to at least 162.00 and hopefully to about 161.80. So again, there should be some nice pips in there. If we don't get a break of that, if that just doesn't happen and doesn't work for us, then I'm looking for a break above 162.50. I think 162.50 is going to be a nice little run to at least get us into the highs here, which is 40 plus pips, but potentially to get us into some new highs that we haven't seen this year or too much of last year either. So there's, I would say there's a pretty easy 30 to 40 pips in a run above 162.50 and potentially more. But like I said this week, we want to stay careful. We want to just look for the kind of the more immediate term runs for now. So let's just keep our eyes on things there and not look for the big movements yet. But look for above 162.50, below 162.20. Those are going to be the levels on the pound dollar Euro yen's going to have some opportunities coming up. We'll talk about that more in the UK session and so on. Same thing with the pound yen. Aussie dollar, like we talked about, the Aussie dollar has got some interest rates coming, and that's going to be big movement. We're already in a sell position on the Aussie dollar, and I think it's probably just going to sit around and not do a whole lot until we see that news announcement. But it's very likely to take the pair down. We're going to keep our position running and see if we can get some nice quick pips in there. But again, just looking to kind of break this low. We tested it, and that's about we got in about 104.10 to sell this pair, and now we've got 104.07 is kind of this low. So a little break below that should take it into the moving average and even potentially more effectively, hopefully, into this 103, 60, 70 area, which again should give us a nice 20 to 40 pip run. So watch for that. Otherwise, we're going to be keeping our eye on some of the breaks. If this gets back above the daily pivot and above this kind of general area of 104, 40, 50-ish area, then we'll probably see a nice buying opportunity. But be very careful as the news comes out. The interest rate announcements, those are big movers, so we got to be real cautious with some of that. And then gold here has really hopped around. We've got lots of levels we've been watching for, but this most recent one right here, which is just kind of the high of the last 24 hours, is about 1667, 68. And I think gold's got a good chance to break that, but it's got to break it first. Otherwise, we could see some tests of those lows, and that will help definitely determine the direction of the pair of the dollar pairs as we go. But probably looking for a little bit of dollar weakness. I'm looking for an overall rally on euro dollar and pound dollar, but probably a little bit of retracement before we see that. So best of luck, guys. I'll see you in the chat, and I'll update things as the day goes on. Thanks, everyone. Take care.